Excellent. Well, you know what I'm thankful for today on Canadian Thanksgiving? That you guys are all here for another Mindset Mastermind, 30 minutes each morning to get our head on right, to get our attitudes in the right place, and to learn. And we've now, a little over a year ago, built this room around written content. So I love days like today where we begin again, something new. Profit First is the new content. I actually, so you guys know, am a profit first professional back in 2015, 16, as part of my old brand that I was with as one of the coaches. I was the lead coach on implementing this project that initially wanted to be done in that operation. And then they kind of got away from it because it doesn't play into the traditional brokerage models. The brokerages may want to do this. If every agent did this, it would get them off the hamster wheel. You would truly be building a business that served you rather than a business that served the brokerage. And so I'm excited for you guys to spend, and as we were saying before the recording, we're going to spend today and tomorrow getting real about our businesses, because you got to get real to get right. And getting real about maybe we just have a job that keeps us in that trap. So when there's conversations about living a check to check world or the bank account financial philosophy, I want you to not only look at it through the lens of your business, look at it through the lens of your personal life. Because a lot of times those are so intertwined that you're looking at the personal bank account or the personal bill stack instead of the business one and having a lot of the same emotions. That being said, as always, it is your guys' room. And I know you started diving into this content early. So let's hear what you guys have to say about either the introduction or the fact that your business is an out of control revenue dollar eating monster. And oh yeah, Erica came on. Have you read the material, Erica?
I started the first chapter. I
I am
downloaded
so
the.
proud of you.
Thank you. I do Audible because when I do self development courses, I like to listen and take notes. And so I spoke with Carrie, and I go, I hope it's not cheating, but she said it's any way you want to do it, hard book, Audible, whatever. And
I
did the.
actually prefer both, so you know, Erica. If you've got both running simultaneously, audible and written, and by the way, you'll see a lot of people have a green highlighter.
Okay.
Ryan's going to throw his up because this is what I love. It's the color of money. We want to see that.
Okay,
Doug's
I'll
got
get
his
one.
up. Caesar.
Okay, I'll get one.
It's day one, and you're already ahead of half the class. So tell me what you took out of it.
After listening to your introduction, um, I what I realized is I heard it, but I sort of ran through it. And it's almost the same way I do museums. I run through them instead of internalize it. Then what happens is my foundation isn't firm for me. However, I do help people build their businesses and their foundations are very firm and stable. So I'm trying to change my habit with myself so that my business serves me.
Well, and I
So,
will also challenge you to change the habits in yourself because people see who you're being more than what you're saying. So
okay.
keep that one in mind. Well, and I love that you're here and you're
Thank you.
diving into this because you're going to be helping other people as well.
Okay. Thank you.
Julianne, you are up next.
Yeah. So I was going to skip this one. To be honest, Carrie knows this too. I'm like, yeah, just not feeling this one. And then inside of me, I'm like, well, money is an area that I need to develop a better relationship with. Not that we're, doing so badly. It's that I've always handed it off to somebody else. And my husband, God bless him, he's in accounting. He's got a really great head on his shoulders. And I have literally, for 35 years, handed off everything to him. and it's love and it's trust, and it's going to change now. So I decided I'm going to dive right into this, because we are doing the entrepreneurial thing again. And I am flabbergasted. Like, what other way of thinking of money and balancing money is there? Sorry.
Keep going.
So it's intriguing because, like, as a writer, I'm looking at this. I'm like, he's really painting the picture. He's really getting you, because I know I fought it the whole way. It took me 4 different Gaia, por favor. And so it took me 4 different times to sit down and read this chapter, because I kept like checking out and kept, and because I'm going, well, what other way is there? What is he going to do? Is he doing some, money voodoo magic? And I literally sat there and sent you some really great thoughts and vibes, because I'm like, you know what? There's one person that could really take me through this properly and help me see another way through my brick wall of the analytical layer. And that's Mr. Profit First Professional, PFP, Coach Russ Collier.
So Celeste, lean into the screen a minute, because I want to do something for Julianne. Because I know you're one. We have probably 8, 10 people who have been in this room for an extended period of time. How many of you have started a book that Coach Russ has recommended and thought, I don't want to do this, I want to check out, this one's not for me, right?
Yeah.
Having gotten through it, how many came out the back end with a better understanding of their business and themselves? Okay. So just stick it out, Julianne. There's a method to the madness that I bring in, and just to anchor this, because I'm on board with each and every one of you to have a massive life. That's my mission statement. So,
can I add something real quick?
Yes, Lust.
I think there must be a learning curve issue for me. I don't always get something when someone says it the first time or when I read it the first time. So I'm an advocate in inviting this book, the chapters, into my day every day, where I might read the chapter twice or even 3 times, or listen to it. I'm in the car more than I'm anywhere. So I have my iPhone in ear distance of when I'm in the shower. And I'll listen while I'm in the shower. I can listen to a chapter in the shower. And why I'm saying any of this is because however it is you learn, don't be ashamed of how you learn. If you're somebody who needs the audio, go for the audio. But I always get the book and the audio, just like Ross said. And one more thing I will tell you is that when you listen to the audio, there are times where there's nuggets in the audio that are not in the book.
That's right.
In case you didn't know.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right, let's get back to the folks that have been online, because I see it. Jeanette, were you ready to go?
No.
Okay, then I know for a fact Ann is. I see Tom. I saw Wilson. I see Cher. I love that you guys are reading. What do you got, Ann?
Yeah, so my book went to the wrong address, so I'm still only on audio, and taking tons of notes. I love this freaking book. I'm already in love. It's like all the problems of the world, I think. Being good at our business is only half of the equation. And that with regards to like real estate, that in crisis, we justify earning money at any cost. Oh, well, I'm striving to be a listing agent of luxury homes, but this person needs help with first-time home buyer and they've got some debt repair that they need done. I'll dig into that with them, right? Like you've got a rental. I don't really do it, but let me see what I can help you with, right? Like, and we are trained to be all the kinds of helpful to all the kinds of people, to do all the things. And then marketing and advertising is even worse in our industry, where it's like, do all the things here, right? In crisis, we justify earning money at any cost. Yes, like raising hand. So I'm just going to say at the end of the book, I draw the line in the sand. Boom. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't have the answer to that, but I draw the line in the sand.
Well, we're going to help you through that. And I want to blend 2 things that you're playing with. So one is this heart of service and doing all things for all people, helping them. And the other is having this need of service. I'll take the rental lead because I need a quick $1,000. If you had a true business that was generating profit, and by the way, here's how I know that you have a true business. It's the Russ Collio standard because it happened to a buddy of mine. When a major health crisis happens and you're in ER for a month, and when you come out, the company made more money than when you were there. Happened to a buddy of mine, owns a company called Buttonworks, and he actually coughed so hard he blew a hole in his lung without knowing, got an infection in his chest cavity that put him in ER. And when he came out, it was like they made more. He was the problem. It was a real business. All of you pretty much, I suspect right now, have JOBs. And this balance, if you have a real business, you can focus on the service, which will build the business even faster. Yet when you're not there, you really are in this need, and you'll take any nugget that comes along that generates money, even if it leads you off the path of building a business. So I just want to get that separation in there. Tom, you're next up.
Well, a couple of things for Julianne. Like you get to the end of chapter 1, and what he said about accounting was really interesting to me. The guy told him he had $15,000 in profits at the end of the year. And he said, "Well, where is it?" And he said, "Well, no, that's what happened." And so to me, it'd be interesting conversation to find out what you and your husband have how that conversation goes, because you're accounting for what will be, or you're going to be concerned with what will be, while he's the facts-based, this is what is, or this is what was. And so I think we're going to discover in this book that it's future focused. It's creating separate accounts for separate things. And I've got a friend that I don't think he's read this book, but this is how he does stuff. And so I don't think this could be better timed for me. I'm just finishing up with a little wrestling match with the IRS, and they invited me to defend myself, and that is coming to an end today or tomorrow. And anyway, it'd be interesting to see how all of this plays out, how this affects me. I was listening to the book driving back from Mom's last night, and he said, "Now, if you're really going to do this, send me an email at, Billy Bob at 123 whatever it was." And I pushed pause right there so I could go and send it. And I haven't, the idea of sending it right now and having this conversation and saying what I just said has my hands just sweating.
Well, here's the intriguing part from the accounting perspective. Most of the accounting work that is done by accountants is done with the purpose of serving the IRS. So, what you're dealing with right now in that space, that's the accounting world, is that it's not to see, okay, how are we maximizing profits? I love on page 5, because I hear this all the time from people. I don't want to post a profit. Of course, I just want to break even. That way I don't have to pay the IRS. Okay, so let me get this straight. I'd rather lose $10 than pay the government $3. Because that's the math. Once you start getting that profit rolling in, you can now do creative things with your lifestyle to deal with that tax issue. The profit is the key, and having that as the lead domino. I can't wait for you guys to see how this actually unfolds. Sherry, you're up next. And then Caesar, you'll be after that.
That is such a great point, Russ. I wasn't going to bring that one up, but it really brings me to the point: eradicate entrepreneurial poverty. We're entrepreneurs. We're business owners. It doesn't matter if you're the small retail shop, or if you're in an MLM, or you're a realtor or mortgage broker, or whatever the business is. Entrepreneurial poverty is one of the most real tangible things that isn't intangible. And what spoke to me about that is, having been in business since, the 70s, I always said I'm not employable. I don't have the education or whatever it is. I have to do this. And it took me back, because we've talked many times about what we've been programmed for. And I remember when I turned 18, I had a settlement from an accident, and I bought my first brand new car. I got $5,000, and I bought a Toyota Celica, brand new. And my payment was $114 a month. I'd been working outside the home since I was 15. And my dad said, "Look, sugar, don't you worry." I am a Southern girl. "Look, sugar, don't you worry. Anytime you need money, all you have to do is buy something new, and it'll make you sell more." And so that was is something that I have wrestled with since I was very young. And at the very beginning of the book, we learned that we are going to have a behavioral intercept. And this behavioral intercept takes us right back to just the things that you're saying. You'd rather not have a profit because you don't want to pay $3 to IRS. So anyway, I'm just like, I haven't even finished the first chapter. I'm on Audible because I haven't got my book yet. And I was just like, I have to write these down. This is all about us and our programming and all of the things that we've been feeding our minds and our brains with, and our RAS and all of the other key phrases. So unless there is a behavioral intercept, you're not going to eradicate your own entrepreneurial poverty.
Yeah, this model is designed to work better with the way you're truly programmed to moving the right way. I'll give you a twofold piece. Most people, as it does discussed in here, use bank account financial management. Oh, I got money in my account. I don't have to work so hard today. Oh, I have money in my account. I can spend more. I mean, how many of you have had the biggest commission or sales check of your career hit the account, and 30 days later, it's gone? Because we're living that way. So a big part of this is moving stuff where it needs to be right out of the gate, so your primary account reflects reality rather than happy pipe dreams. It also ties into, for those in the real estate space, why I work the magic pending number, because we do the same thing with escrows. Oh, I've got $50,000 pending. I can lay off the throttle. And all of a sudden I have nothing pending. I have nothing in the pipeline. I'm freaking out because I have no cash flow. And so focusing on your magic pending number, knowing what that is, and then staying on that helps level this out. Caesar, you were next up, brother.
Thanks, Coach. I thought on page 12, the piggy bank that changed my life, that little story was really, really powerful. Just because he was very vulnerable, a lot of things were piling up, and for her daughter to come up with that piggy bank and say, "Here," I mean, it definitely struck a chord with myself during that page. But I also wanted to point out on page 17, he's like, "I'd learn how to collect money for sure, but I'd never learn how to keep it, how to control it, or how to grow it." So that was another thing too, is us, we get cash flow in, cash flow out, and it's just this other mindset of how to keep it and then continue to grow it. And another nugget I want to bring, this reminds me of an older book. I believe it's the Richest Man in Babylon, and the basis of that book as well. He says, like, you put your 10% first out of every check that you receive and put it away. So that also sparked to something that was written maybe 100 years ago, give or take a few. And so that was an important thing. So sounds like it's going to be an amazing book. So I just want to bring those two nuggets into the room.
By the way, great job tying it back to that. I actually never have, and I've read both multiple times, and you're absolutely right. A piece of this and some of this philosophy definitely overlays The Richest Man in Babylon, which overlays other significant books in history, which kind of teach some of the same stuff. So awesome. Justin, I saw your mic come on.
Yeah, I had so many things that I had underlined or highlighted in this chapter. I mean, my book looks about like that. And I could almost pick any page. I did listen to the majority of the book on audio. I do have the physical copy. I am through the first chapter. And I did send that email that Mike asked us to send him an email that we drew a line in the sand. So I'm just opening to page 24 at the bottom. It says the survival trap is not about driving toward our vision. It's about taking action, any action to get out of crisis. Any of the actions shown in figure 1, survival trap diagram, will get us out of an immediate crisis, but by taking actions like those on the left of the circle, we get out of the crisis, sure enough, but we are going in the opposite direction from our vision at point B. This whole thing reminds me very much of, I'm trying to remember the name of the book. Jordan Belfort, Wolf of Wall Street, wrote a sales book, and he talks about the straight line sales method. And everything that you're doing with the client is to attempt to move in a perfectly straight line from where you are to a close and not get off of that path. And looking at, yeah, this guy could have like been watching me writing this book about me. So many of my actions have, solved an immediate problem and took me in the wrong direction. And even those moves that I made out of a necessity or crisis that may have not been in a completely wrong direction, those times of crisis, that's when I would start to, maybe do it for a little bit less, so you're less profitable, or give a little bit extra that wasn't compensated for. And I'm a fan of giving people great value, but I think doing it from the wrong motive, from like a desperation, creates just higher costs. So it does. It's less and less leverage to move in that positive direction toward the outcome that we really want or need. So this is an awesome book. I'm so grateful to be reading. There's some other spot in here where he's like, well, maybe you have a lot of time, to figure out if you need to get profit under control. I was thinking, man, I should have read this book last year. So glad we're reading it now.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Justin, for that. And keep bringing, because we're going to stay on this chapter. Man, I'm debating. You know what? I might have you guys do chapter 1 and 2 on Wednesday. We're going to decide in the next 4 minutes. Who else? Go, Josh, and then Julianne. We'll loop back.
Well, I was going to make a comment on that because I read chapter 1, but I'm feeling like I should have read the introduction because I just jumped to chapter 1. And then as I'm reading through, and you guys are referring to the first 10 pages, so maybe we should read the introduction if you probably overachievers did rather than me. This is interesting because, especially in real estate, we think through the revenue model, but don't necessarily think through the profit model, because everything is based on revenue, right? I mean, that's essentially what we're focused on. And this has made me kind of rethink some of the expenses and some of the things that eat away at the profit, and essentially make it to where it would seem very likely that over a long period of time, you'll have your highs and your lows. But if you don't really watch your expenditures, you end up back where you started.
And you end up back where you started, blaming all the other things rather than how you were running the financial side. So I'll give you a great example. I have seen people with teams of 20 agents be on stage at a national conference and then 12 months later, gone, out of business, done. Where they're not totally out of business, the one guy who started it is out slinging real estate by himself. And in debriefing with him, he had this team of 20 and he had to sell more real estate just to cover the overhead of the operation and keep all his people fed. He was working 70, 80 hours a week slinging real estate to feed the monster. And so now his line was, I'm never doing that again. I'm just going to be a solo agent. When what he should have done is really been looking at how he was running the financials of the operation. This will also, by the way, help you guys for those that want to build a team, build something bigger, if you do it right. All too often, I see people to hire talent, they're going to give away 80%. They're going to put agents on an 80-20 split. Think about this. If we had, let's just say we have a company out there that does everybody on an 80-20 split. And they have a 24% cost of operation. At the end of the day, it's 24% of gross revenue to run that building, to run that operation. As I throw these numbers at you right now, you understand no matter how big they get, they're just going to be losing money faster, which is what we see with most major brokers out there. If you go look, I mean, there are some, I believe Compass has burned through $1.5 billion in revenue building that thing. We just spent the last decade in real estate and technology living in a world where the idea of making money was ridiculous. It was about how big and how fast you could grow, never worrying about being profitable. This is going to take you back to the focus on profitability.